It's Christmas Eve here at No Swear Manor, so Kevin Loxley brought over a game based on one of his favorite Christmas movies, Gremlins, for the Atari 2600 with some really cool label art. It makes it look like it's all about what happens when the Gremlins throw a surprise party for Gizmo. Surprise! Let's go ahead and take Gremlins, pop it in my Atari 2600, and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Mogwai? Gremlins was published by Atari and carries a copyright year of 1984. It is based on the 1984 Christmas classic movie of the same name. It was programmed by Scott Smith, his first and only 2600 game. According to the manual, it's raining Mogwai and Gremlins. Hope you brought an umbrella. Gremlins is an action game for 1 or 2 players alternating. The game allows you to select from 1 of 8 levels. The game is comprised of 2 phases. The first phase is the Mogwai Phase. In this phase, you move Billy left and right to catch Mogwai kaboom style who are falling from the roof. Before they hit the bottom, eat a hamburger and turn into a pupa. So basically it's just like the movie. And where exactly does he put the Mogwai that he catches? If a Mogwai hits the ground, it will eat a hamburger, even if the only hamburger is on the other side of the screen. The phase ends after the 4th wave of Mogwai, or if all 8 hamburgers are eaten. The second phase is the Gremlins Phase. Here, Billy must shoot the gremlins before they hit the bottom of the screen. You can hold the button down to continuously fire, but you can only have 1 bullet on the screen at a time. You can also use 1 of 2 flash cubes per screen by pressing down on your joystick. This will freeze the gremlins and scare away any who reach the bottom of the screen. If a gremlin does hit the bottom of the screen without being scared away by a flash cube, he will get Billy, costing him a life. Lose all 4 of your lives and the game is over. In higher levels, gremlins will also multiply when they touch the water on the ground. Forget the gun, Billy. Get a mop. If you make it through the Gremlin Phase, you'll return to the Mogwai Phase, usually at a higher level. And it seems that the game will actually skip you up levels if you perform well enough, which was pretty unusual for a 2600 game. Also, level 8 is the highest level in the game, and the game will repeat level 8 if necessary. In the Mogwai Phase, you get 100 points per Mogwai caught in the first level and 10 extra points per Mogwai caught each additional level, up to 170 points per Mogwai caught in level 8. You also get 200 points for each surviving hamburger. Seriously, Billy, why didn't you just throw them away instead? I mean, who leaves 8 hamburgers laying in the street? In the Gremlin Phase, you get 200 points for each gremlin you shoot in level 1 and 10 additional points per level per gremlin, with a max possibility of 270 points per gremlin shot in level 8. Graphically speaking, I thought the game was pretty good overall. However, I did have a few nitpicks. I thought Billy looked kind of like an old bald guy wearing jeans, and while I can understand why they made the Mogwai and Gremlins one single color, I didn't understand why they made them both yellow. It seems to me it would have been better if the Mogwai were brown or white and the Gremlins were green. The sound effects in the game were okay, but I thought the music was really good. And while the movie might have scared some young children, the 2600 version is a lot more family friendly and is unlikely to scare anybody. At the time I researched on eBay, loose copies were going for $25 to $30 a piece. One complete copy sold for $80 and one new copy sold for $108, and those prices include shipping. So what did I think of Gremlins on the 2600? Well, for a while I didn't even know the game existed, and when I found out that it did exist, I was intrigued and looking forward to playing it. So finally, after waiting many years, I get a chance to play it, and I find myself disappointed. It looks good, it sounds good, and controls well, but overall I found the game kind of boring. I didn't really enjoy either of the phases, and I also found that the difficulty was a little unbalanced, with the game starting fairly easy but ramping up almost too quickly. Perhaps it would have been better if it didn't skip levels if you did well. So where am I going to rank Gremlins on the 2600? Sadly, kind of low. I would rather play another round of Gremlins than Towering Inferno at 76, but I actually like the 3 screens of Robin Hood better than the 2 screens of Gremlins at 75. So out of the 105 games I've now ranked on the 2600, Gremlins is mutating into the 76th position. Gremlins on the 2600 fails to capture any of the magic of the film. So what do you think of Gremlins? Whether you agree or disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Also, feel free to click the like and subscribe buttons. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/NoSwearGamer for more information. You can also follow me both on Facebook or the Twitter. And I'm a member of the Retro Junkies Network. You can find more retro podcasts and videos at theretrojunkies.com. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care, and remember, never feed your 2600 after midnight. which I suppose in a way, unless it's exactly midnight, technically speaking, it's always after midnight. Oh well. Mogwai.